Warriors. It's my Warriors bracelet, giving me strength each and every day. LynnsWarriors.org. It's Warrior Wednesday. I wanted to come to you with a couple of notes before the day ends here in New York City. And we had a very successful week doing a lot of different things. But I was thinking about, it's overwhelming, it's dark, it's ugly. There was so much going on in the world, in our country. It is hard to even think about digital safety, but we must, the safety of our children. So I was thinking, right now, what can we do? What do I always tell you? In our own homes, in our own communities, we take care of business. Let's block out all the rest, because we really will get nothing done if we get sucked into all of that. Today, I sent out a newsletter. If you go to LynnsWarriors.org, scroll down on the right side, it says e-newsletter, sign up. I urge all of you, actually, I beg all of you, because I could sit here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I can't cover all of the information, all of the stories, all of the legalities, all of the raise awarenesses, all of the studies coming into me. There's that much volume. But let's cover a couple of things. I was thinking this week, let's take one step back. Healing. This word has been coming to me in emails. I've been reading it. I've been seeing it. So I decided to write a little bit about healing. What can we do right now? I decided I think we need real-time healing and online healing. Now, hear me out about this. Real-time healing. What could really be done? What could be very simple? What doesn't require money, a lot of time? And I think it's a cup of tea. I was lunching with my good friend Jenny Dodd recently. Jenny is the tea warrior, knows everything about tea. I recommend you look at her website, jennydodd.com. That is JENIDODD.com. And Jenny and I are brainstorming and cooking up a few new things you'll hear about in the very near future with the Warriors, a collaboration. And she got into tea because she was seeking alternative ways to relieve the stress of her life, a very high-powered lawyer on Wall Street. And about 10 years ago, I think it's about 10 years ago, she was diagnosed with MS. So she wanted to relieve stress in her life. So she got very interested in her reading and researching in tea and the ritual of tea. Because, here in this country a lot, we plop a tea bag into some hot water, there's your tea. But in other countries such as Taiwan and Japan, China, Nepal, it's a ritual. So I was thinking we all need to have ritual, simple ritual. What do I always stress here at the Warriors? Communication. Sounds simple. It's not. It sounds overwhelming. It's not, Warriors. You need to make a cup of tea. There's so many teas on the market. And again, I'm going to refer you back to jennydodd.com because she's got some beautiful sourced teas from those regions of China and Taiwan. Really knows her tea stuff. So read about the tea, find out about the ritual, see what it's about, see what I'm talking about. Put out some nice cups and saucers, make some tea, sit with your team, your child. Even if you block out 15 minutes, make it a ritual. Just try it once and talk, start communicating. No distractions, no TVs on, no radios on, no phones on the table, nothing going on, no computers around you. It's tea time. So that begins the real-time healing, because you're actually doing something in real time. Very simple, doesn't cost money. And Warriors, if there are so many different teas. So we'll leave that for a second. And then what do you always hear about here on the Warriors? You hear about the Earn It Act. That is the online healing that we really need to not lose momentum with right now. Warriors, Earn It stands for Eliminating Abusive and Rampant Neglect of Interactive Technologies Act of 2022. What this means is that big tech will be held accountable for the first time for CSAM, child sexual abuse material, on their platforms. They haven't changed their ways. I'm trying to keep this very simple and not get lost, as we say, in all the weeds and complicate it with jargon and all this stuff. Since the birth of the internet around 1996, big tech has acted as a billboard. Anybody can post anything, no consequences, no legalities, nobody can sue. But we know, warriors, you know what's going on. As our lives are now online, our children's lives are online, our grandchildren's lives are online, so are the predators. They are one step ahead of us. Remember, the law always lags behind technology. So right now we have to really, as part of our real-time healing with a cup of tea, start discussing, how was your day? Tell me about what platforms you're on your phone. I read an article yesterday that actually a study that said children ages 8 to 17 spend an average of 1.5 hours a day on TikTok alone. If you watch the movie Childhood 2.0, and you can find that for free, go to childhood2movie.com, childhood, the number 2, movie.com. You can find this on YouTube. You will see that a lot of children spend up to 10 hours a day online. So think about, they go to school, eat, sleep, and then 10 hours online. It's an addiction, and you know it, and I know it. Big tech knows it. Our government knows it. Everybody knows it. But let's get down. We talked about the cup of tea. It's a simple thing you can do at your kitchen table. I like the idea of ritual, a cup of tea. You sit down, you calm down, have your tea, and you talk. Just start talking. So let's get back to the Earn It Act. There's one more step for the Earn It Act. Now let me explain. Earn It, a couple of weeks ago, passed unanimously out of House Judiciary Committee on the floor. Unanimously. This is a bipartisan bill. Bipartisan, belongs to no political party. It is co-authored, co-sponsored by Senator Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut, Democrat, and Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican, South Carolina. Also on the House side, Representative Sylvia Garcia, Democrat, Texas, and Representative Ann Wagner, Republican, Missouri. Now, unanimously, what does that mean? It goes on to the Senate floor for a full vote from everybody. We don't know exactly when this is happening, but it's in the very near future. But what you can do is you can participate. You can be a warrior. You can take action. You can go to lynswarriors.org, go to the Take Action section. You will see it right there. You will see our statement of support for the Earn It Act. You will see the bullet points, what Earn It Act is, what Earn It Act doesn't. And you will see at the bottom where you can hit a link, add your name, add your zip code, hit send, and it will go to your elected representative. The work is all done for you. You have no excuses, warriors. I am going to point out, though, if you Google Earn It, because I've had many people come to me, ask me questions. If you Google Earn It, look up Earn It, you will find nothing but negative publicity, article after article after article. Lynn's Warriors would not be supporting the Earn It Act of 2022 if it was not strictly about the online safety of our children. For instance, it takes the word child pornography, that term, and changes it to CSAM, C-S-A-M, child sexual abuse material, because that isn't a more accurate description of what it actually is. Child pornography just kind of goes over everybody's heads. But child sexual abuse material tends to stick a little bit more. What it also does, it will hold big tech accountable by creating a commission of 19 members. Now, this commission will be made up of law enforcement, privacy experts, people from big tech, survivors, victims from CSAM, organizations could be like Lynn's Warriors, coming together. Now listen to me, warriors, if the platforms, big tech, now you know big tech, what that is Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, if they don't voluntarily take down this material, they will have to come before the commission, answer to the commission. and the commission will find best practices. If you Google Earn It, you will see outright lies. I'm going to call them lies because they are lies. You will see that it will end your privacy, it will end encryption, it will have big government stepping in, more government, online. It does not do that. I want to ask you, warriors, those are outright lies. I would not sit here and support the Earn It Act again if it was not about the safety of our children. I want to ask you, people fighting over their privacy online, this has nothing to do, this is about child sexual abuse material that is rampant and escalating as we sit here. We did snapping recently. Each snap is about 2 seconds. 20 snaps equal 40 reports of CSAM sent to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in Alexandria, Virginia. 20 snaps, 40 images. Warriors, take action. I do want to tell you that we need all of you to go to Lynn's Warriors, the Take Action tab. Let me repeat myself. Scroll down, hit where it says, how can you participate? How can you help? Add your name, add your zip code, hit send. You can also go to ijm.org. That's the International Justice Mission. Of course, I always want you to go to Lynn's Warriors, but I want to give you a few options. The internationaljusticemission.org/earn it. There's a take action. Warriors, we must protect our children. We're entering into Web 3.0 and metaverses. I think we're already here. We just don't know it yet. We're going to wake up someday and be there. And that's a frightening proposition because we can't even get a hold of what's happening online right now. So we need all of you. There's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of work to do. In the meantime, you're going to learn from the warriors about these issues. You're going to act on the take actions. You're going to read on your own. You're going to have a plan in place, and you're going to know what to do if something should happen to your child, to your teen, or to yourself. You have to have an action plan. It's 2022. Time for things to change. So we've got that going on. The real time cup of tea, very easy, warriors. Earn It Act. I want everybody get on board with this. Send your name, support us. Don't believe what you read about it. I'm telling you this. I never used to talk. I like to stay positive. I don't like to talk negative things. I believe positivity is infectious. But you know what? If you look it up, which most people do, you will see nothing about, oh, it's going to steal your privacy. Oh, big government, not trying to do that at all. Bipartisan. We can all get on board to protect our children. I woke up today and I wore black. You know why? Because I was feeling that how can a society that does not cherish their children, they allow this abuse to go on unchecked, is not a good society. Society will crumble. I put black on because I cannot believe what is going on with our children. That is why you have to become a warrior. That is why you have to step in and take action. So let's go over a couple of things. So we have some real-time safety with the cup of tea. We have some online safety. You've got your homework with Earn It. And let me tell you what else is going on. I want to remind everybody we're still in February, and that is Teen Dating Violence Prevention Month and Awareness Month. We know that teen dating violence is also linked to human trafficking because, first of all, you have to know the indicators. If we as adults don't know what they are, we cannot teach our children and our teens. Children are vulnerable anyway. So they don't understand verbal abuse. Somebody might say they love them, but they verbally abuse them. That's teen dating violence. They may bully them. We have a lot of instances of a boyfriend coercing a girl. They're in a relationship after a while into having sex with other teens or men because he says he needs money. That's part of the grooming process. So it leads, this vulnerability, this teen dating violence, a lot of indicators that it leads to human trafficking. So we've got to get a handle on that. The best website I recommend to you is loveisrespect.org. Loveisrespect.org. You will find a phone number. You will find a 24/7, 365 days a year chat interactive. You will find resources. You will find blogs. You will find studies, loveisrespect.org. I'm urging all of you to go to look at that and to understand what that's about. Next issue. On my radio program today, which I do every Wednesday on WVOX here in New York, 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern, Lynn's Warriors. There you go. Can't get away from me. Lynn's Warriors. It's all over the place. I had my good friend on, Rima Nashashibi. She's the founder and president of Global Hope 365 out in California. Her mission is ending child marriage, raising awareness for human trafficking and gender equity. Now, let me give you that website, globalhope365.org. I urge all of you to go look at that, because did you know child marriage is legal in 44 out of 50 states? Only 6 states have made it law, 18 no exceptions. And our former Governor Cuomo, right before he left office, did sign New York State on. So we have 44 more states. We have a lot of work to do. So Rima came on to talk about what's going on, catch us up with child marriage. She is our West Coast warrior. She is relentless. She is fantastic. She is boots on the ground. She's getting the real work done, and that is a warrior. And she's going from town to town out in California, speaking with the elected officials, getting them to understand what this marriage means. Because let's face it, a lot of this, let's break it down. We say child marriage. We have a lot of instances of, a 13-year-old girl marrying a 40-year-old man because one parent signed off. Every state has a little bit of a different law about this. So some states are one parent can sign off. And some states are 14. Some states are 17, but let's, as an example, use a 13-year-old with a 40-year-old man. Lots of times it's hidden. It's really trafficking. It can be the man bought this child. It can be what we call familial trafficking, where a family member sells their child. So we've got to get a handle on this. And Rima is an excellent warrior, and we need some take actions here. So first step is globalhope365.org. You can learn more about Rima, the mission, what's going on with child trafficking across the United States, but also there's a letter writing campaign. Rima, you sign on. Doesn't matter. This is out of California. It's for all of our states. You sign on your name to the letter writing campaign. And Rima will reach out to you if you'd like and help you find your representatives, help you craft a letter, whatever it is. But right now you need to go to CA Coalition to endchildmarriage.org. Now I know, warriors, it's a long website. Let's review that again. CA Coalition to endchildtrafficking.org. Join the letter writing campaign. That is to take action, and we can get some things done. This is what is needed. This is boots on the ground. As I said about Rima, I want all of you to be boots on the ground. I want all of you to be warriors. It does make a difference. We need all of you. So we had that going on. I also want to talk to you about the event I have coming up. Warriors, if you are in the New York City area, Connecticut, New Jersey, come out and meet us, please, on Thursday evening, March 10th. The Warriors is doing an event at the 3 West Club, which is 3 West 51st Street, Rockefeller Center. You will come, you will join us. I am hosting a panel discussion with Lynn's Warriors Advisory Council member, Dr. Ann Ritchie, who is a pediatrician trained in trauma. And also when she was working in St. Louis, she's a born and bred from Brooklyn, New Yorker, but she was working at one point in St. Louis and created a program to identify, again, these indicators of, if a victim, a child came into the emergency room, what would happen? Because we know, warriors, they're patched up, treated, and sent right back out into the streets. We need to do better. So this is a tremendous undertaking. The Warriors right now is putting together a best practices to involve a program like this, trauma. Somebody comes into an emergency room, law enforcement is involved, and then a safe place. Two, it's funny because the other day I was on, I'm digressing a little bit, but I was on a coalition Zoom call, and the young woman brought up, we don't want to use safe space anymore. We want to use protected space, because what's safe for one person may not be safe for the other. Okay, protected space. All right. Also, she brought up, while I'm on this, we use that term. I don't use it a lot because I don't like it, but many do. The triggering. Triggering could be, you smell something, it triggers a memory. You taste something, it triggers a memory. I say something, it triggers a memory. They would like it now to be called activated, activators. I skirt around it. I don't really use triggers at all. I'm very sensitive and careful with survivors. I don't parade them around. I don't really put them out there. I'm very respectful of their stories, of their histories, because remember, warriors, it's not enough to really get somebody out of this life. It is an ongoing process of medical and psychological and empowerment each and every day to get them to stay out of this life of trafficking, because the average we know about is 7 to 8 times before we actually get a teen out of it, because they can be doing great for a couple of weeks, couple of months, couple of years, and then revert back because it's easier. It's what they know. It's how they can make money. So we're doing this event Thursday, March 10th, begins at 6 p.m. There's going to be discussion and dinner. It does cost $40. And we are going to give you a delicious meal. We are going to discuss the medical, because people overlook this a lot. What happens to somebody medically? I work with survivors that their entire lives are ruled now by medical. They have so many problems. Their bodies have been so abused. Psychological. Okay, how are they going to work and make money? They have to reclaim their lives, economic empowerment, step by step, day by day. So I want you to hear about the medical from Dr. Ritchie. And also we will have the Honorable Judge Fernando Camacho here in New York State, who, while he was at the DA's office years back, he also was in the sex crimes unit and also developed a prostitution aversion court. He didn't want to put girls in jail. He saw no reason to do this. They need help. They need a way out. They don't need to just go to jail and then be turned back out on the streets. So he's going to talk about that. What's frightening here, out of both of them who've been working with human trafficking victims and survivors, they have both said to me they have never seen things as dire and desperate as what's going on in 2022. So we're going to come together, talk about the legalities, the medical. I'm going to talk about this, what's needed for survivors. And we're going to do a Q&A because people have questions. I don't do, I'm sorry, boring PowerPoints, and I'm not going to beat you over the head. We're going to have a conversation, then we're going to have a Q&A. No question is, we'll answer any questions, because you have to know indicators. You have to know what's going on so you can take that home with you and help your children, help your grandchildren, help yourselves. Because I have worked with some of these parents whose children have been, for instance, sextortion. I hope you all know by now what that is. That is something that takes place online. That is somebody using force, coercion, getting your child or getting you to do something. For instance, provide an image, dialogue. It's actually a form of human trafficking. Remember, human trafficking is something that travels. It's not just a car, a van on the streets. It's also an image travels online. And it amazes me how many kids think because they use Snapchat where the image disappears after, 10 seconds, whatever it is, it's still out there. It's been captured. It's been retweeted. It's been put in that cloud. It's been shared. An image never really disappears. So these survivors tell me they live every day in fear of, where are those images? where their whole lives. So it's never like there's an end, because with the internet, it goes on and on and on. And that's the scary part. And that was brought to my attention fairly recently. And I started really thinking about it. They live in fear every single day. So there was a story recently. Actually, if you go to my Facebook or Twitter, Lynn's Warriors, I post it. You'll see a laptop and it says earn it. I would like all of you, go to my Facebook or Twitter and look for this. Scroll down a little bit. I think I did it yesterday, and I'll do it again so it's at the top after I finish speaking with you. But there is a video that we've created, and you can press on the links as the video is playing, directly to Earn It Act, where you sign on, directly to the bills. You can want to read the entire bill, earn it, go ahead, knock your socks off, do it. Okay. I gave you what it's about. Online safety of our children, bipartisan. That's what it's about. But you can read the entire bill. And there is a video of a woman in a shadow because she doesn't want to be seen. But I'm very well aware of the case over the last year. And I've heard her speak on some of our meetings, in some of our meetings online, I should say. And we'll call her Jane Doe. I'd like all of you to see it. And describes what happened starting when her son was 13, but it did not come to light until he was 16, where at 13, when he thought he was talking to, I think the story is at 13, he thought he was talking to a 16-year-old girl, and eventually he exchanged images. Nothing ever happened until he was 16, and it got around. Those images are being distributed. Those images are online. Those images are at his school, and people were telling him, we're seeing you online. And that also begs the question, where are these other teens looking to see these images? But we'll leave that for a minute. And this mother had no idea any of this was going on, Jane Doe, until her son posted something about killing himself online. So a classmate let the mother know this is going on, because this boy really was going to kill himself. He was embarrassed. It was a couple of years earlier. Kids always tell me the same thing. We knew it was kind of wrong, but we did it anyway. Because remember, once you do it and it's out there, not only is it out there forever, that trafficker, that criminal on the other, wherever they are out there, phone, computer, they'll up the ante, and they'll want the next image to be more violent, more graphic. They'll want you to perhaps do something to your siblings. And when kids say no, they usually say, I know where you live. Because remember, this is an adult. This was not a 16-year-old girl that this 13-year-old boy thought he was talking with and thought it was kind of cool. I'm exchanging images with a 16-year-old girl. And now they know your name. Now they know where you live. Now they know where you go to school. They know your pet's name, your sister, your brother, your parents. And they say, we're going to your parents. We're going to distribute this at your schools. And everybody falls for it all the time. After a lot of chaos, and I want you to watch this video. I don't want to spoil it for you. Fast forward, the victim, they reached out. It was on Twitter several times, no answers. I mean, warriors, how these platforms are. They don't answer. Horrible customer service, if you want to call it that. Eventually, they did get an answer after several tries from Twitter that said, we don't find these images objectionable. And the mother and her son were, the family, besides themselves. And through their church pastor, who knew somebody in Homeland Security, he took on the case because the mother did not know what to do. Apparently spoke to their pastor. He knew this person, and it took Homeland Security 9 days to get these images taken down. Now, there was a lawsuit going on. This teen he's now 17, is suing Twitter. It is happening as we speak. And we want, with the Earn It Act, if big tech, if Amazon, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, if they don't want to take these images down voluntarily, they will come in front of the council, and the council will decide the best way to deal with them. Perhaps it's having a lawsuit. And you might say, okay, well, this lawsuit's already happening. Why do we need to earn it? Because I've had people say that to me. The number of images are so like unfathomable. You can't imagine. Nobody could keep up with it. So yes, they do catch some things, but they cannot catch everything. And forget catching anything. Why is this allowed on any platforms anyway? We need to update Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, and earn it is a best solution right now, a great first step to go in that direction. As we head into what I mentioned before, the metaverses and also Web 3.0. It was described to me as Web 1.0 was the development of the internet in the 90s and the WWW, World Wide Web, websites. Then we entered in the 2000s Web 2.0, which we're in now. That is all of this social media, the Facebook, the Twitter, the Snapchat, the TikTok, all of this. The Web 3.0 is going to be virtual reality, augmented reality. It's funny, when I was coming back from my radio program, a radio was playing in the car I was in, and it was 1010 winds we have here in New York. And the story was about the Oculus glasses, and that kids are playing online. And a mom thought the kids were very quiet and went and checked on them in another room in a house and saw they were gaming, because that's another, I'm telling you, warriors, every single site your children use and you use, the predators are on, and also CSAM, child sexual abuse material. So she went to check on the kids and found that her son, with his Oculus glasses, they were exchanging nudes and molesting each other. I'll just leave it at that. That's what happens in Web 3.0. We have avatars that go to work, go to school, go food shopping, and they're already molesting each other. These are children. Can you imagine what this is going to do when this becomes more widespread, catches on? I already know people who've purchased for this past holiday season these Oculus glasses. I am begging, a word I don't use a lot, do not buy these for your child. These are not cool. These are not fun. This will destroy whatever is left of their youth. Do everything in your power to avoid this. Do not let them be out in these metaverses, this Web 3.0, this digital landscape that has no control, no laws, no rules. You think it's bad now, warriors? Remember, February 23rd, which is today, 2022. You heard it here first on the Warriors, the metaverses, Web 3.0. Start studying up on it and learn more about all of this, because I basically think it's here. I'm already hearing these stories. And remember, you can do everything in your power to do everything correctly and speak to your child correctly. They may go to a friend's house, a neighbor's house who has these Oculus glasses and think it's cool and everybody's getting them and buying them. But I want you to know, you have to explain to your child what this is about. And it's horrific and horrifying. And I'm at about a 90%. I have the best people trying to explain metaverses to me in Web 3.0 and avatars. And I catch on pretty quickly. I'm not catching on to this one. I don't know why I want an avatar of myself that I can send across the world to travel, buy art for me, go food shopping for me. Where am I going to be? We'll talk more about that. So let me leave you with a couple of things, a couple of take actions. First, as we ease out of February, we have about another less than a week. Teen dating violence awareness. If you have a child, a teen, get on top of this. The best website I can recommend is loveisrespect.org. One-stop shopping, everything you need to know. Just read up. Even if you have no situations going on in your home, just read up about it. Because is your teen moody? Is your teen spending a lot of time in their bedroom alone? Is your teen showing up with unexpected, you didn't buy those shoes or that purse? Doesn't matter. Just read up, start educating yourself about all of these issues, because then you'll know what to do. if something happens. You have to have this action plan, warriors 2022 in place. So loveisrespect.org. Then I want to mention my good friend, West Coast warrior Rima Nashashibi, globalhope365.org. We need to take action from all of you. Please go to CA Coalition to End Child Trafficking.org. Letter writing campaign. We need to get that going. We need to hit up all of our elected officials, talk about this child marriage. We cannot have, as an example, 13-year-old girls marrying 40-year-old men. I think you know what that's about. Okay. Healing. Cup of tea. Simple. I'm sure you have tea in your cabinet. You don't have to buy it. Boil up some hot water. Sit with your child. Sit with your teen. Do it. Start talking. How was your day? What's going on? What platforms do you like to go on? What do your friends go on? How much time a day do you think you spend on these platforms? Can I remind you, warriors, you probably pay for the internet in your home. You probably pay for these phones and computers. You have a right to ask. And I want to direct you to something so sobering. If you're not going to believe anything I'm talking about, which I do almost 24 hours a day, you will go to the 2021 BARC annual report, and you can find that bark.us. I always recommend BARC. They are a monitoring tool for busy parents, for overwhelmed parents, where you pay a very nominal fee per month, and they will check all of your child's apps, emails, text messages, connect to your phone, and alert you if something suspicious comes in. And I recommend, we cannot be watching our children and teens 24/7. I recommend this wholeheartedly. You can try it for 7 days for free. So why wouldn't you do it? Again, the website is BARK, B-A-R-K, like a dog.us. But I want to point out their annual studies. I have to point out some of these shocking facts that were brought to my attention. Things like in 2021, BARC saw a 25.15% increase in alerts for self-harm and suicidal ideation among kids 12 to 18, as compared with 2020. 43.09% of tweens and 74.61% of teens were involved in a self-harm suicidal situation. We're talking, warriors, 2021, which we just ended, okay? Alerts for potential self-harm and suicide include anything from text messages about cutting to an email draft of a suicide note. So you've got that. Let's talk about sexual content. An uncomfortable situation. Parents, your warriors, got to talk about it. 68.97% of tweens and 90.73% of teens encountered nudity or content of a sexual nature. Again, sexual content, almost 70% of tweens and almost 91% of teens, warriors, encountered nudity or content of a sexual nature. Sexting laws, this is sexting, vary from state to state. So you have to know what the law is in your state. And that's why you need to go to BARK, BARK.us, and look for this annual report and read more about what to do if you find out your child's a victim of any of this. Anxiety. I'm going to round the numbers off. Okay. About 20% of tweens and 42% of teens use language about or were exposed to anxiety. Anxiety disorders affect 25% of children between the ages of 13 and 18. There's so much to read here. Drugs, alcohol, 75% of tweens and 93% of teens engaged in conversations surrounding drugs and alcohol. BARC saw a 21% increase in alerts for drugs and alcohol as compared with 2020. Bullying. 73% of tweens and 85% of teens experienced bullying as a bully, victim, or witness. In 2021, girls ages 17 were most likely to engage in conversations about depression. And warriors, I could go on and on, but I want you to read it for yourself and take your time. Eating disorders, 32% of tweens and 56% of teens. This is shocking information. Predators, 10% of tweens and 21% of teens encountered predatory behaviors from someone online. And it only takes 8 minutes, warriors, for a predator to form a bond with a child. This is also what I want you to read. Last year, 2021, there was a 97.5% increase in online enticement reports, according to NCMEC. NCMEC is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The website is missingkids.org. It is an excellent, excellent resource, missingkids.org. Go. You will see everything about CSAM. You will see the support for the Earn It Act. You will see everything about online enticement, sextortion. Last year, 97.5% increase. We might as well say 100%, warriors, because, you know, with the subject matter, things are off a little bit. So we have that. Sextortion. Look it up, missingkids.org. Know what it is. It's funny because I talked to teachers, and recently talking to a teacher who students are 4th and 5th grade, and they're already talking about sexting, you know, 4th and 5th grade. So we've got to get a handle on this. I want to remind all of you in the New York metro area, tri-state area, as we like to say here, The Warriors is coming at you live Thursday, March 10th, 6 p.m. at the 3 West Club, 3 West 51st Street. We would love as many of you to be there as possible. Human trafficking, realities and solutions, the medical, legal, and survivor advocacy perspectives. I'd love to see all of you there. And I want to leave you also with some really good news. This past week, we had the General Federation of Women's Clubs in the United States. Now listen to this, warriors. They are 80,000 strong, 80,000 boots on the ground. Women's clubs around the United States. Who knew? Came out supporting Earn It Act. They have a take action. They want everybody to write letters, to know about this in their individual clubs across the United States. They want to help stop CSAM, child sexual abuse material, and this is a beautiful thing. And I'm going to post all of this on Lynn's Warriors, because this is a take action across the country, 80,000 strong. We also had NAPNAP, which is the nurse practitioners. They have, I don't know the exact number offhand, but they have thousands of nurses, and they are supporting Earn It Act. They don't want to see any of this in their medical offices, in their hospitals. They've seen too much of it. So we've got that. And warriors, I wish I didn't care as much. I wish I didn't do this work. I wish I didn't have a passion and a calling for it, but I must, because somebody has to do it. And I want to leave you with, if I can wake up one day and say, I have to be a warrior, I have to educate people, I have to help families, because our government is not doing enough, then you can do it too. And you can do it in your own home, in your own community, because we need each and every one of you. Wake up and become a warrior.